This morning's shooting is from Hampton Roads, and 10 News Side's Cheryl Tan spoke with him earlier. Cheryl?
Don Marcus Weaver was shot this morning inside Theater 9, but he tells me he will be okay. In fact, he is now out of the hospital. Weaver is a Green Run High School graduate who now lives in Denver, and he has been on the phone with loved ones all morning long, letting them know that he will be all right. Weaver made some time to talk with me a few hours ago to tell me about the most horrifying thing he has seen in his life. In pictures taken at Parker Adventist Hospital in Colorado, the evidence of a shooting rampage, a bloodstained shirt, a bandaged arm, an outing Marcus Weaver says was like a nightmare.
It was the 12:05 showing over at the Aurora Century Theater. It's a movie theater we all go to. They're known for cheap movies, and they were showing the 12:05 Batman, and I have tickets to go the next day, but a friend called and said they wanted to go, so I went.
Weaver says the Theater 9 12:05 a.m. showing of the Batman movie The Dark Knight Rises had been sold out. He was sitting very close to the front in the middle of the 6th row.
About 20 minutes into the movie, there was a smoke bomb that sounded like a siren was going through the crowd, and so we're all looking around, and so we're like, whoa, is this part of the movie or whatever? It was almost surreal. Then all of a sudden, down by the front of the theater on the right-hand side, if you're looking at the screen, there's a guy just standing there, just open fire with a handgun, and you can see the white light coming from the gun. And at that point, I realized that this is not a hoax. This is real stuff. And people just were screaming and scrambling, and people falling down. It was crazy. My first reaction was to grab my friend and just get down on the ground like everyone else was doing. But he kept firing. He would fire off 6 to 10 shots at a time, then pause so you think it was stopping, but then he kept firing. You could hear the ricocheting off the seats, people yelling, people screaming. It was utter chaos. Finally he stopped, and so that's when I picked up my friend Rebecca, and I picked her up, and she had blood and just stuff all over her. So I tried to pull her out, but then he started firing again, and at that point it was like everyone was just in a frantic, because I didn't even know where he was. When I was jumping over the seats to get to the exit, there were people trampling over people who were lying on the ground, and it was just the most horrific scene I've ever seen. I could still hear the gunshots just going off repeatedly. Then when you think it would stop, it kept going on.
Weaver managed to make it out of the theater with his unconscious friend, but that's also where they got separated. He was taken to the hospital, where he was treated for 2 puncture wounds to his right shoulder, as well as shrapnel.
I got shot in my arm, but like I said, it's nothing compared to some of the things that probably other people are going through.
You heard Marcus Weaver mention his friend Rebecca. He has still not been able to find out the condition of Rebecca. Again, he will be okay, and we've heard that he has been released from the hospital. Coming up at 12:30, we'll hear more from Marcus Weaver. We're going to play his entire interview about his horrific ordeal. Again, that's at 12:30.